What is going on out there, good people, and welcome back to LMD Trading, where I am living my dream trading. Hope everybody out there is doing well today. As for myself, I am doing pretty good. Just sitting back down at the desk to do a little chart reviewing. Actually over here playing with TOS today. Today's recap is going to be a little different. I'm actually going to be reviewing some option trades that I took today and not going to focus on what we did in the futures account, even though it was an excellent day in the futures account. I traded the PA account with Apex. And I say that it actually was a good and a bad day, y'all, because I actually blew up a PA account today, early this morning. And it's one of the reasons or one of the issues that I have with Apex. This particular account, I was up a substantial amount and I let that trade go against me and gave up what I was up, and in doing so I reached the daily threshold. So even though the account was still good, not like I took a big hit, I was up green and I gave it back, and next thing I know it was put in admin status. So goodbye to that PA account. That sucks. The other one I made about 500, a little over 500, I think, in that. Actually, no, might have been closer to 6 because I took a trade in the afternoon. And then I did trade the Top Step X account. Banger of a day in that one as well. And like I said, took some option plays. I've been taking option plays the past week or two, and kind of just want to make a video discussing those today. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna bring up TOS. Thinkorswim, I think we're gonna be going by the wayside with this pretty soon. But this is my layout. I hadn't changed it much from when I'm trading, when I used to trade stocks or other options. This is the layout that I use when I want to go through and kind of just see what a stock is doing, or what, in this case, an ETF is doing. And I traded both the QQQ and the SPY today. The reason I did that is I prefer to trade NQ when I'm trading futures. I don't like the way that ES moves. And I trade the SPY when I trade options, and I don't like the way that the QQQ moves. It's kind of crazy because the ES is the SPY and the NQ is the Qs. So you would think because I'm trading the NQ, I would prefer to trade the QQQs, and it does not work that way. But I wanted to kind of just see what the Qs was doing today. So I have the Qs chart pulled up, and I have my weekly, I got my daily, and then I have a 2-minute, an hourly, and a 4-hour. And I'll kind of switch this one over to a 5-minute every once in a while. But just looking at the weekly, which is what I like to look at for my long-term bias. In this chart, I don't have any drawings on it right now. So one thing I am going to do, I'm going to draw my trusty trend line. I'm going to draw what I always like to see on a chart, which lately has been a trend line. So for this one, it's easier for me to see the top. I'll mark that, and on the bottom it should be the exact same line, the way that that line is running. So that's the top, that's the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna edit. I just want to change it to blue, and I want to make it a little thicker. So there we go. So as we can see, the Qs have been in a weekly uptrend. That's February 26th. It kind of topped out, hit the top, and it's just been kind of just grinding along. One thing here You kind of see how I use these 2 points because that's established. Watch when I extend this to the left. I'm going to edit it. I don't usually like it extended to the left, but I'm going to do it real quick just so you can see. Look at that top line. Notice when I extend it to the left, how it came over here. So had I not had this point here, I could have drew it based off of this point to that point, and then I would have known where it was going to hit at. When we go over and look at the SPY, you'll see that that's exactly how I had did that one. But let me turn off this left extension. So that's the weekly picture. If we come over to the daily, this is the daily chart. You get to see clearly where it kind of tapped out at March 1st. And it's just kind of been consolidating along there. Coming and looking at the daily, I can come right here and I can draw a price level line. Actually, I'd want to draw it off of, let's go right there. Right there. When this breaks this level, I expect to see exactly what that did. You see that? Because this had gotten over and it was using this lower area as support. But now you get a lower high support. Now you get a slightly lower high support, and it gives up support and it flushes. So I just recently started looking at the Qs. That's why there's nothing on these charts. But if we give up this low of last week, this can flush down. I kind of would like to see this week's candle stay right around up in here. And then next week it comes and breaks the lows. That'll be like a weekly 3-bar play. And let's see, call it 413. This has room down to about 404. And then if you look over at the daily, it actually has room all the way down to 400 based on this weekly channel. But let's look at a trade that I took today. And if we come over here and look at the options, you see I took 2 Qs. I had a April 23rd put, 409 put, and I had a 422 call for 416 loaded over here. And I did not want to take this put right here. I meant to grab the call, had the wrong thing loaded in the ladder, just got out of that position, took the loss. But we made $34 on this particular trade, and we'll go ahead. I'm gonna switch over to my charts layout now. And this is what I'm kind of looking at intraday if I want to take a trade. So 2 minute, 5 minute, the option 2 minute, and then the 15 minute, which should be the actual stock. So let's link that over there. So, all right, let's go ahead and let's take a look. My thought process this morning was I wanted to go long because of where we were sitting, and not so much on this one. This is not really a good picture. When we go over to the SPY and we review the SPY trade that I took, you'll kind of see it a little better. But market opened and we had kind of gapped up just a little bit from Friday. This was Friday's close. We gapped up. Market opened. And actually, let's go up here because this is the option chart. Let's look at the actual ETF chart. So closed Friday, we gapped up. Market came back down. One thing that Vega hangs out over in the Discord always says is usually the gap will get filled and then we can go from there. So we were looking for the Qs or the ES to come back down. It filled that gap up. It caught support off of previous day's close. And you can come down here. You look, you'll see my entry right there. I took one Q contract because I had jacked up and took one right there on the put. And let's just go, we'll mark a arrow on the actual chart where we got in at. So we were getting in on that candle right there. Drop that arrow. Q, send a clear down channel. Send a clear down channel. Again, I didn't take it all the way out to here. This is where it's breaking out of the channel. For me, the real channel, point touching, it breaks out, but then look, you get the points touching coming through there. When this thing came down and it got back up and just kind of consolidated, I took the long right there. I'll drop another one where I got out because I really did not get the full potential out of this trade. But based on entry, based on exit, now if you come up and look at the chart, you see I took the entry as it was breaking out of this down channel, and I exited as it came up to VWAP. Hit VWAP, I'm out of the position. It comes back down. Now, look at what I paid for that contract. I paid 71 cents. Multiply that by 100 because with options, you got to technically buy 100 shares. So I paid $71 and I made $105. Look at what this thing set a high of at 12 o'clock. It set a high of $2. That's over 100%. 140 or 142 is 100%. And this is how you can make money with a small account trading options. I've discussed this before, but options are a good way to make money as long as you keep your risk tight and you take good quality trades. So this was the first trade that I took. And actually, it's not the first trade because I took the SPY one a little earlier than I took this one. But this was the options call trade that I took. Like I said, well managed. If you come up, look at the actual ETF chart, solid entry, came up the VWAP, rejected it, pulled back. This is, you hear me say a money zone. This is what Spark, who's over in Spark and Trade on here on YouTube, he calls his money zone. And I just made mine into a cloud. But it's just basically a moving average crossover. Same thing when you see my charts change colors. Instead of the whole chart changing colors, you just see in the cloud change colors on these charts. But pulls back to that money zone, comes up, breaks VWAP, and then off to the races. When it gets off to the races, it's up to $1.60. At that point, this trade is over 100%. So that was the QQQ trade. Next, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the SPY. I've been taking shorts on the SPY the last 2 weeks. Remember how I said the picture will paint it'll be a fairly cleaner picture on the SPY as to why I was going long. So last week and the week before, I was short biased. A lot of people was like, man, the market is still moving higher. Why are you short biased? I was short biased because of my weekly picture. Same thought process, the Qs, point touching. I had used these points to draw this like months ago, literally months ago. So when this came up to this area, I got excited because I'm like, okay, now I don't want to go long here. Or I don't want to go short here. I don't want to go short here. I don't want to go short here. I want to see this start pushing back in. 2 weeks ago, I started buying puts. I got back into the options trading, and I like it, y'all. I like it because it don't take you a lot of money to make money. But notice this thing got back in this channel. It should come up. It should go back down. Look at what it did last week. last week. It came down and it touched the lower part of the channel on Friday. Let's come over and look at it on the daily chart. You get the same picture. Again, same way I did with the Qs. I can take and draw a line right there. When this breaks this level, this is money, y'all. This is money. But this was Friday's candle. Notice what it did. Came down, bounced off of the bottom of the channel, and the bulls got back in it and kind of closed it out, just pushing it up a little bit. So this morning, I want it to be long. I want it to be long. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the 2-minute chart, just so I could show you what I had did. So market opened, or actually won't even say market opened. Before the market opened, I drew this intraday channel based on what the market was doing pre-market coming up. See, I got a level there, level there, level there. I draw this trend line and then I extend it and I find my bottom. So the market had been just kind of trading in between there prior to the market opening. Market opens, and let me do something real quick. I'm going to get rid of my color charts just to kind of make it a little easier to see, I think. Yeah, there we go. Let's look at it that way. So comes down, taps, hit a stop, comes down, taps, hit the top. Notice it doesn't make it all the way up. That's the hourly 50 EMA. Kind of pushes it back down once the market is opened. And now this here is similar to the QQQ. I want to see this get back down to previous days close, which it does right around 11, and then off to the races this thing goes. Off to the races. With this one, I had a SPY 423, so it expires tomorrow. Call 505 loaded. Wait till you see the price that I paid on this thing right here, y'all. Wait till you see the price. And like I said, it doesn't take a lot of money to make money. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna switch this over now to the chart. We're gonna look at it on the layout that I like to use if I'm gonna trade intraday. And I'll go ahead and I'll load up that contract, and it's loaded right there. Let's go ahead. Let's do that right there. And I'm going to drop arrows just like I did a minute ago for the Qs. I'm going to drop arrows on the actual 2-minute chart where I was getting in at. That was my first contract. This came down a little bit. That was my second contract. Notice the first one I bought 2. Next one I bought 1. And then let's go ahead and let's see where we took our last one at. Right there. I hate that I missed that one right there, or anywhere in this area. But notice we gapped up. Same picture as the Qs. We had gapped up. This thing kind of chopped around, came all the way back down. Look at that. If I drop a line right there, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to switch it over, but look at where it found support at. Right there off of this level. Didn't quite make it all the way down to the previous day's close. And then it just ran. It just ran. Came up, found resistance at VWAP, pulled back, snapped through VWAP, took off to the races. And I got out of this trade, y'all, because I had my target set in the system and it hit my bloody target. I did not want to get out where this thing got out at. You see, I sold all 4 of them for 49 cents. Call it $49. Almost $200 per contract. And this was a little over 100%. It was over 100% on this one. Over 100% there, and well over 100% there. So let's do the math on that. I paid 46, 66, 79. I paid $79 for this trade, and I made $117. That's profit, $117. So I made a little over 100% of what this trade cost me. And let's put a mark on where we got out of this position at, because you'll see somewhat why I got out where I did, or where I had the target where I had it at. Previous day's high right there. This thing just kind of consolidated. It made the move back up. This is not me trailing out. This is where my target was at. But look at what this thing did. Let's scroll over here and look at it. I got out at 49 cents or $49 a contract. Notice in the same exact candle, it went to 59. So that was another $40 that was left on the table just because my target was sitting there. But this thing hit a high of $70 a contract. And I probably was in with an average, what did I say that was? 69? No. Yeah. On the threes, 79. No, 69. That was right. So 69, divide that by 4, like 17 cents a contract or something like that. So killer trade, y'all. Killer trade. I do want to go back real quick, and I want y'all to see this trade. Remember this one? This is the Q one that I just had reviewed. I just want y'all to look at these numbers because I didn't show them to the completeness. I showed this part of it, but I didn't show it all the way through. Paid 71 cents, so $71. I sold it for $105. Decent money. Look at what this thing did. It hit a high of $5.19. That's $519. So on this $71, I could have made or sold it for $500, and I would have made $430 instead of just $30. Am I mad at the $30? No, I'm not. But that is the potential. And one reason why I kind of don't really be wanting to hold these. This contract expired today. So had I not even, if I didn't sell this today, it would expire worthless and I would not have made any money. But even if I held it to the end of the day, it closed out at $2.50. So $250 would have made $180 on this trade. So yeah, that's what we did today in the options sector. I do like being back over here in the options sector. The other way that I trade options is the magnet to 50. I have not been really looking at those lately, but I do like the trend lines. So I am liking being able to find intraday trades. I do. I just saw something real quick. I'm gonna come back over here to on the 15-minute for the SPY real quick, just so you can kind of see why I like these trends. Let's come up right there. We're gonna come down through there, and I'm gonna just extend that out. I didn't want that one though. I knew they were about to text me because they called. Let me get ready to wrap this up. So there we go. Notice even on the 15-minute, just looking at that right there. So this was last week. It came down through. That's Friday That's Friday afternoon. Notice we're in this downtrend. Look right here where we're breaking out of the, I'm gonna come up here and mark it on this chart because I got the arrows. If you're looking at the 15-minute, you see where we're breaking out of that down channel. I'm gonna drop the arrow right there. Notice this is a very clean entry. Very clean entry on the SPY. And this thing just takes off from that point. Because guess what? It's a trend break. You hear people say a trend break. That's a trend break. It tried to break it there. It got pushed back in. I always said if it gets out of the channel and it comes back in, that next move is going to be fairly violent. Didn't really totally break out and then get back in. It just kind of got pushed back in, came back down, rode along the weekly. That's why I like making it blue and thick. That's that weekly trend channel. And then it finally breaks out right here. That's money. I didn't catch that. But I just wanted to show y'all right now, real time, me just looking at the screens as I was doing my outro and saying, man, let me drop a trend line right there, bring it out to the backside so you can see up. If you want to take a trade here, you can somewhat project where your target should be. It's not going to make it all the way down here. You got to expect that it's going to kind of catch support off of the blue line, which it does, consolidates, finally breaks it, and now it comes all the way down, comes back up, comes back down. If you want to go long right here, this is something that I have started to do now. Is to catch that long right there, put the stop just below it. This thing kind of consolidates and then it takes off. Years past, I would be going short right here. I cannot tell you how much money I lost taking shorts right here for a breakout. And it's right at the base of the channel to bounce up. Come down here. Look at that. If I drew the line right there, and just for this one, I will do it because that's previous low. If I draw that line, I would take a short right here, expecting this to flush out, and this thing would be sitting right at the base to go back higher. This has been like a game changer for me. Just trying to make sure I get these on the charts before I take any trades. Because the sooner I can have that trend mapped out, the better I am to know if I want to go short, wait till it comes up here. I can go short here, and if I want to, I could put my stop above the prior pivot, or I could just put it just on the other side. That's a very tight stop. Realistically, I can give it up to there. But this just makes it so much easier. When this comes down here, I could play this here back up. Now this one, I have to give it just below the level because there is no prior pivot because we're in a downtrend. Only pivot might be out here to the left, maybe some days ago. You see on this one, you go out a week and there is no pivots over there. So if I took this trade, I might just give that a few more points down below it. Same thing, come right there. Just a little down below it, it consolidates over, and then it makes that move out. But on that note, I'm gonna wrap that one up. That kind of extended it out, just showing that that little 15-minute area right there, just where I kind of like drawing that line at. But as always, thanks for checking me out. If you're not subscribed, please think about subscribing. And as always, we can continue the conversation in the comments. I don't even know. I need to go ahead. I do need to go over there and look at my futures trades, but I won't make a video for that today. Like I said, I want to focus on the options because I do like what you can do with options. And there, that was plain and simple. You can see very small amount of money, and you can actually grow the account. So what I made today, what, like 130 bucks? I could risk 30 of that tomorrow and I'm still ahead of the game. I'm playing with house's money right now. So on that note, I'm gonna wrap this one up. We'll be back at it again tomorrow. Peace.